So, in 10th standard, we had a chapter based around Anne Frank's childhood. And from that chapter came the following question. What was the name of Anne Frank's maths teacher? And there is nothing wrong with the question in itself, but one thing just puzzles me. Does this question have anything to do with the English language? Like, what do I learn about English grammar or literature from the knowledge of the name of Anne Frank's teacher or the number of essays she wrote? It would make sense if such a question was asked for a science exam, because science is based around such facts and figures. English, or any other language for that matter, is not based around facts, as far as I understand. These kinds of questions, which are based around some fact mentioned in the textbook, are asked for the exams on a regular basis. And in order to answer them, you should be able to recall the name of every place or the date of every event mentioned in the chapter. Most of the times, students lose marks on these types of questions, and hence teachers spend a lot of time preparing such questions and then teaching them to the students. This was especially the case from last year, as CBSE said that 40 marks out of the total of 80 marks for the exam will be from 1 mark questions. And most of the times, these 1 mark questions will be based around the facts and figures that I mentioned about earlier. But how do these facts help the student in understanding the chapter or its characters or the writing techniques used in the chapter or anything related to literature? No, they don't. Then why are such questions still asked for language exams? Okay, maybe I was too serious on that, but still, why? If such questions are removed, students no longer have to spend time memorizing the facts mentioned in the chapter. Instead, they can actually focus on understanding the chapter. And yes, there is a difference between memorizing and understanding a chapter. If you are able to recall the color of the dress worn by a character in a chapter, then it means that you remember the chapter very well. But if you are able to tell why the character wore a dress of that color, then you have understood that chapter on a deeper level. For example, if the character in a chapter is wearing a blue dress, it might be the writer's way of describing the introverted and sad nature of that character, as blue is often associated with such characteristics. Through this knowledge, you learn about how writers choose the appearance of a character. You learn about character formation. You learn about story writing. You learn about the language. I hope that now you get the difference. Another thing that always confused me regarding language exams were these kind of questions. Answer in 150 words. Answer in 100 words. Answer in 80 words, etc. If any one of you happen to write a language exam in the future, and if you come across such a question, please don't write within the word limit. In fact, don't even pay attention to the word limit. What you have to pay attention to are the marks. If the question is for 5 marks, you have to write at least 1 page, even if the word limit is just 120 words. At least that's my experience. For this question, you should write even more points. Ma'am, but the word limit is 120 words. For a 5 mark question, you should write at least 1 page. Ma'am, then why not mention it in the question? There is nothing you can do about it. Exactly. It's just how the system works. By the way, guys, sometimes this might work different in your school. It's just my experience, so don't take this as advice for your exams, but these were just strictly my opinions from my experience. Okay. Okay, cool.